Hello, good morning, everyone. This is CY once again. Thanks for joining me this morning. I'm back from my roasting class, which I've had in the last couple of days in Indonesia, Jakarta. It has been a very informative uh, roasting class, and I've learned a lot. Uh, there's a lot of theory, but what makes this class so unique and interesting is um, my instructor or my teacher, Nick, actually give us a lot of time to convert our theory into practical. So we really get to roast a lot of coffee. But today is not about that. Today I'm going to review some of the items that sent to me by Ikape. I think they sent a sort of a constant pressure tamper, right? It's a V6 impact. I'm not too sure you can see. It's a version 6 or something like that. I'm not too sure. It's called a feedback tamper, right? 58.35 millimeters. It's pretty nice. It's come with a stand, which I will say other manufacturer that I work with that doesn't have this. So this is good. This is really well thought. The build is very solid. They also sent me this, what do you call it, distributor, right? It's called the levitation distributor, right? This is again another product from Ikape, right? So I'm going to try this as well while I make a cup of coffee this morning. And they also sent me WDT tools, right? Looks all very similar to each other. This is another one from Ikape, right? So I'm not paid by them. I'm not, I can say whatever I want about this product, whether they are good as compared to those products that I'm using before. So my feedback is never influenced by them. It's all my own personal or honest opinion. And I think it's really pretty good. You know why this is so important? Because I have customer who come into the shop and buy something like that, and they like to keep pressing and pressing and pressing. And guess what? They will damage the needle that's at the bottom, right? Remember, this thing is going to hit the ground that it's pressing against too. And many times my demo unit has got bent needles. Yeah, so this is a really good thought whereby this is raised up, and you can press it down. If let's say a person want to know how it works, so this is a really good raised up step. So kudos for that. So let's get into the actual business of making coffee with this item. And then I will not say whether they're going to improve the quality of your coffee being extracted, because these are just tools to help to make your coffee making procedures or steps more standard. In that way, you may achieve a better cup of coffee. These are all tools, right? Can you do a good cup of coffee without these tools? Sure, you can, but this will help you a lot. So let's get to see. Let's get started on how I make coffee with these tools. And today I'm going to use the smeg EMC 02, which is what currently they'll be showcasing this machine at the Singapore Coffee Week, which is on coming Thursday. Let me check the calendar. Thursday should be, let me see. Which day is Thursday? Thursday is the 9th of October, so they'll be at Plaza Singapura. SMAC is one of the sponsor, I believe, and the Barista Championship are using the SMAC EMC 02 as a competition machine. So I'm really, I've tested this machine for quite a while, and it has been working pretty well for me. So okay, so let me get rid of some of these tools. So these are my old tools. I'm just going to leave it at the side, right? This is the previous thing that I've been using. So let's just move them away. Right, so this is another brand which I use. So let me just move them away. I just want to see how the workflow and how easy and is it to use this when I make coffee, right? Oh, it's pretty nice because they have each have for their own stand. Yep. So, and for today's coffee, this is a coffee that we are test roasting. Right. I've gotten 2 bags of this coffee, and then it just arrived over the weekend. This is the varietal 74110 from Limu Gera G1. This is the tasting note given by the supplier, which is pretty exciting. Grapes, vanilla beans. I don't know how to taste vanilla beans. Champagne grapes means that there's maybe a bubbly kind of effects, sparkling effect over your mouth. When we see sparkling, doesn't mean the sparkling sensation, but something that tingles your mouth. Yep, it's delicate and clean. It has peach. Let's see whether we can pick up all these tastes, right? I have done a carving of this coffee. It does taste very berry-like, tons of sweetness, a very nice acidity, and that's when I do carving. Right, so the machine has been properly warmed up, so let's get started. Right, in the very soon I'll also be reviewing these 2 burrs from Le Brew. Right, I've purchased this burr myself from Le Brew directly, and I want to test them against the SSP to see how they fare. So these are the content that's upcoming. I hope you feel excited about this. I'm pretty excited, but I know that this burr has to be seasoned. So I have some beans, not so good beans. I don't want to mention the brand. They are stale, so I want to use them for seasoning of the burr. Right, so let's get started with the making of coffee this morning. So this roast, I roast it for espresso. Not saying that espresso must be a dark roast, but it is a medium light roast indeed, which will bring out more on the acidity and sweetness. That's why I want to achieve with this coffee. Let's do a 17 gram this morning. Right, I'll still be using my Time Sculptor 70S. It's been very well seasoned. If you want to see the color of the roast, right, this is a medium light roast. I think the drop temperature is around 194 degrees Celsius. I would say maybe 30 to 40 seconds after first crack. It smells great though. Let's do 17 gram. Okay, exactly 17 gram now. I will be testing this, so I may need a couple of shots to get it right. So let's see how it goes, and I will not be using the blind shaker as well. Let's see how it works, how the taste is like. I use the original dosing cup. Okay, this dosing cup is a pain. It's a little bit of pain for me to use because the size is not 58 mm. And it doesn't fit over my filter basket nicely. So let's purge the coffee a little bit. Smells great. Okay, let's see whether we can get 18 grams out. 17 grams only, 16.9. Okay, let's see. 16.9. So there's no retention on this grinder. I've been using this grinder for quite some time now. It has been giving me very delicious espresso. So I'm pretty happy with the 78S from Timor. Right, so Timor, if you want to work with me, I'm open. So if you want to send any product for me to demo or to test out, right, please feel free to contact me, right? Okay, the polyfilter is nice and hot. So let's transfer this over. You'll see what I mean by, right, it fits nicely inside. Okay, because I'm dosing 17 gram, so it will not be overfilling, right? It is actually very hot. So let's move over to the prep stations and then we prepare this coffee. All right, so, okay, let's start with the WDT from Ikape. Fit nicely. It is a bit lighter as compared to my other brand. Oh, this is pretty interesting. Okay, when I first use it, it does give you a better distribution. So let me show you what I mean. Okay, this is the one I'm using. Okay, let's mess up the ground. Right, you see? Can you see that? Okay, let's do a little bit more. Right, you can see that there's a lot of holes. Right, of course, my habit is to knock it down. Right, you can see this is the condition after WTT done by the MHW3 Bomber brand. So now let's do the Ikape. So same thing, I'm going to press holes. Right, and then let's zoom in a little bit for you to see. Okay. Okay, fairly similar results. Okay, let's do one more time. I think it does spin a little bit faster, right? And it does leave behind a sort of a ring, right? And then let's try to knock it down. Right, you be the judge for yourself. And based on the condition of the prep between the two, right, you can decide which one you favor more, right? It's very hard for me to, I'm more concerned with the taste rather than the how it looks like, but it does looks pretty nice. Okay, let's continue to use the levitation distributor, gyroscope, because there's a lot of name to it. So put on top. I think it has a certain weight to it, so it will actually push this down. I do have a similar product from a 3-bomber one, which does the same thing. Yeah. So it has its own weight to push down and then sort of to distribute and level the coffee ground. Okay. Okay. This is a condition, which is pretty nice, I would say. And then lastly, this is the moment of truth because my calibrated tamper from MHW3 Bomber always will have the coffee from the side to get into the center. All right, so let's try with this Ikape, right? What do you call this? It's called a feedback tamper. That's interesting. Look at this. The tamp, it's on the first try. On the first try, it looks nice. It's a rich tamper that gives you a certain pattern, which I suppose will give you a better distribution of water as you put espresso. Right? Don't mark my words. This is my theory. Right? So it's pretty nice. Right? So lastly, of course, park screen. Right? And then let's try the espresso. Right, so let's see how the espresso will be put. Right. Okay, ready? Let's see. It's on standby now. Let's press again. I'm doing the espresso at 92 degrees Celsius. All right, so 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's flashing because I accidentally switched from the steam mode to the hot water mode. Okay. Let's see the pressure. Oh, all the way to 12 bar. Because I've just roasted this coffee yesterday, it can be very fresh. So it's definitely over extracting at the moment. Okay, it's about let's pull a shot at 30 seconds, right? Okay, at 30 seconds, I'm yielding about 24 grams of espresso. This is like 2/3 shots from the normal ratio that I usually do, right? So I'm going to adjust the grind setting a little bit coarser, and then we're going to do a second shot, right? But before that, let's don't waste coffee. Let's respect the beans, and then let's still continue to try this coffee. So let's try it. You can see the espresso has not much crema. Smells great though. I can smell definitely the berries inside. Oh, oh, it's very intense. It has the astringency at the back because of the over extractions. But it is very promising, even though there's astringency at the back due to the over extraction. The taste is quite promising. Tons of sweetness, right? Slightly low on the acidity because that's my intention. I always like a sweeter espresso rather than a very acidic espresso. So let's do a second one and then let's see how it goes. So before we start, currently we are at 2.4 for grind setting. So let's go by 3, right? Okay, now we have adjusted to 3. We're going to do 17 grams of espresso. So let's do that. Same beans from Ethiopia. I think people is going to like the espresso from here. So this we'll probably launch it next year. So it gives us enough time to do enough roast to get the best out of it. So 17 gram. Right, not sure you can see that. It's 17 gram here. Alright, so let's see if we can get 17 gram out again. So since I've already been using the same coffee, there's no need for me to do flushing. But I do always want to see the amount retention. So let's start the grinder. $16.9, so there's a 0.1 gram of retention somewhere, but I will call this pretty well done. Oh, yeah, it's figuring between 17.9 to 16, 17.0 to 16.9, so I will call that almost perfect. So let's continue to do the prep. Okay, of course, we're going to remove the portafilter. Accidents. Right, it always happen on my channel, but I don't edit these accidents. Okay, let's clean that up later. Right, the reason for that is because the basket provided by smeg, this original basket, is slightly smaller. So I have some difficulty trying to put my standard park screen inside there. And when I try to knock out, the park screen is preventing the coffee puck from dropping out naturally. So this is the reason why we are creating such a mess there. Right, so okay, let's get that away from my counter. Right, sorry for the mess that we created. Right, just a reminder, making coffee is never a clean business. It's always quite messy, especially you are testing something new, right? But don't worry, it is worth the messiness just to get that good cup of coffee. In my opinion, right? It's worth it. All right, so it's clean up. So let's prep the coffee right now. I would want to put a piece of filter paper below, but I do not have it here with me. Okay, let's do it another time. So let's transfer. Right, so that's the original condition. Okay, now I will bring you to get closer for the close-up on how I do the prep. Okay, I'll zoom in properly. Right. Okay, I am the cameraman today. My son is still sleeping. So let's do this. How did this get wet? Okay, probably I dropped some coffee on it, not too sure. Okay, let's do the WDT first. Three times is more than enough. Pretty impressed so far. The gyroscope levitation distributor was what a name. Okay, again you can see is the basket is very tight, so I couldn't actually get a very smooth exit from the basket. But the basket can be replaced with another basket, which give you the probably closest to the standard size, right? So this is something which I am a little bit unhappy, right, with the original basket they provide. So let's tamp it down. Okay, see, okay, right, it's been consistent. I kind of like this. It doesn't give me the coffee ground, you know, spilling over to the center. You can see what I mean. See, you can see. This is irritating sometimes. Okay, so let's lock in the portafilter and then let's see the shot quality. I hope the tapping on the puck screen just now didn't disturb the coffee puck. Right, so let's go. Pressure is still quite high, but this time the coffee flow much faster as compared before. Right, we'll see. Okay, about 22 seconds, we are hitting about 40 grams of espresso. Right, so that's a pretty fast flow, right? But this is a medium light roast coffee, so it's interesting to taste how the espresso is going to taste like with this. I like it a little bit faster, but the pressure is still high though. So I think when I tap on not the shower screen, the park screen just now, it could have disturbed the bed and caused some channeling in the extractions. That's my theory. It may be true or may not be true, right? But most important, does the coffee taste nice? Let's give it a try. All right, let's give it a try. Oh, the ripe fruit smell, it's very intense. Oh, astringency is totally gone. It has become much cleaner in the cup. It's a little bit weaker in body because of the fast extraction time, but it has become more acidic, but in a nice way. It's so juicy now. I really like this shot. Right, so cheers. So sometime when the espresso extracted runs out of your parameter, do not immediately jump to a conclusion and tell yourself that the espresso is not going to be nice, because it is not in the parameters. When I say parameters, means the golden ratio of espresso extractions, 1:2, 18 grams, let's say you do, of beans, and then you are expecting to get about 36 grams in about 25 seconds. It really depends on the coffee. It depends on how well the coffee is roasted, most importantly. Secondly, it depends on how good your grinder is. Number 3, maybe how well you prepare your park. Definitely, if you prepare your park better, right, it's going to give you um, um, I would say less channeling, if that makes sense for you, and then a better tasting coffee. So this one, even though I thought, I may have screwed up because I tapped on the park screen a few times, that may have disturbed the coffee bed, right? But the coffee still end up tasting great. So this is my something that I learned today. Do not judge the coffee, right? Taste it. Thanks for joining me. I will not be doing a milk-based coffee today. I think it's enough. I do not want the video to be too long. So this is CY. I'll be testing more on the accessories sent to me by Ikape, and then I will probably do a second video to follow up on how it compares with the tools which I currently have. Do they improve the taste of coffee, or they are generally pretty much the same? So stay tuned for the next one. This is CY. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you very soon, and stay safe. Drink good coffee, right? I'll see you.